about functions of humor.
Musarrat, you're still not in presentation mode. You're in the our next presenter is Dr. Musarrat Azher, and the title of her presentation is Functions of Humor in Family Conversation of Saraiki Men and Women. You have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Attardo. Well, I'm going to talk about functions of humor in family conversations of Saraiki men and women. And before I move forward, I would like to talk about, talk a bit about linguistic and cultural background of Saraiki people. Like Saraiki is the fourth most widely used language in Pakistan, and this is one of the Indo-Aryan languages which is used by more than 25 million people across the globe. And as far as the culture of Saraiki family is concerned, generally Saraiki families are based on patriarchal system. Like they are very much traditional people who are stuck with their family traditions and values, and they follow to certain extent asymmetrical power relations, in the sense that generally men hold stronger positions in their families, because they are the decision makers, and they are the family. They are the breadwinners for the family. So, in this context, and with the background of superiority theory, which suggests that higher status individuals initiate more humor and are rarely the focus or the target of humor. So, in multiple studies, they have justified the superiority theory that, like Tannen, Kendall, and Duncan, that they have shown that the people who are at higher positions or who are in the controlling positions, they are more initiative of humor, and they are lesser targets of humor, and humor is related to the hierarchical structure and relative status of participants in small groups. Then there is general lack of research on conversational humor in the context of asymmetrical power relations. As we know that Jennifer Hay, she has talked about functions of humor, but she talked about in friendship groups, that where the power relations are not asymmetrical, rather they share the same. They share they share the equal status, because friends generally they have an equal status of in terms of hierarchy. And then in Saraiki also there are few researches mm, which are being conducted on Saraiki. In this context, we have the aim of this study is that is to
Musarrat, are we supposed to be seeing?
The aim of my study is that it attempts to explore the types and the different humor sport strategies and functions of humor in everyday conversations of Pakistani Saraiki family, and then to identify that how humor is used to foster solidarity and power relations among mixed sex groups comprising of asymmetrical relations. And to achieve this aim, the study is based on a joint family conversations, and the conversations occur in mixed sex group, which comprise of a father, mother, son, daughter-in-law, daughter, son-in-law, and a niece. On the basis of this major objective, the research questions are: what types of humor are used by Saraiki men and women in their family conversations? And the next question is: what functions are served by the humor Saraiki men and women use in their family conversations? And then what are the patterns of and gender differences in terms of humor sport, and how humor is used as an instrument to construct power relations in Saraiki family conversations. So, for this reason, I have used two different models. One is from Hui, that is his two-layer model, and the other is of Functions of Humor by Jennifer Hay. In Hui's model, as far as the categories of humor are concerned, he talks about two-layer model. In the first layer, he talks about in-group humor, out-group humor, and other humor. In-group humor is the type of humor that targets one or more participants who are present in the conversation, and that the humor is generated or produced without any malice amongst the participant. And this also includes self-deprecation and jocular abuse. Whereas out-group humor is targeted at someone who is not present in the group in the conversation. Rather, he's outside the group, and this may be with or without malice. And other humor is covers the instances of humor which do not fit either of these two categories of in group humor or out group humor. So in layer two, he talks about different strategies of humor like anecdotes, fantasy, irony, joke, observation, quote, role play, vulgarity, and wordplay, and other. And all these different strategies can be covered under two major categories of jocular abuse and self-deprecation. And the second framework which I have used is of Jennifer Hayes, that is based on functions of humor. He talks about three broader categories of functions of humor, which include solidarity based, psychological based, and power based. And she's of the view that solidarity can be achieved through sharing personal funny experiences or highlighting similarities, uh, creating boundaries and teasing one another on joke relationship, whereas power can be constructed through conflict control or creating boundaries or teasing one another. So these are the two frameworks which I have used in my research, and the data for this research comes from the casual conversations of Saraiki families who sit together during and after dinner. And then all the members are part of joint family because they live together, and they speak Jhangi dialect of Saraiki. As Saraiki is, as I have already mentioned that Saraiki is one of the four major languages which is being used in Pakistan, and we have six different dialects of Saraiki that which are being used in various parts of the country. So this group particularly talks and uses Jhangi dialect of Saraiki. Then the members comprise of father, son, daughter-in-law, daughter, son-in-law, and a niece who live in southern Punjab of Pakistan, and they age around 20 to 70 years. They are of the same ethnic and linguistic background. I placed the device in the center of the group on a table. They were aware of being recorded, but they didn't know the purpose that why they were being recorded. And the humorous turns were identified following Attardo's triangulation system, and then they were analyzed through Hui's two-layer model of humor types and Hayes' taxonomy of functions of humor. In total, 58 humorous instances were identified and analyzed. These are the results, in category-wise distribution of types of humor. Here we can see that the most frequent humor was in-group humor. Like most of the people were involved in in-group humor, and uh, they were uh, they were involved in jocular abuse and in most of the times. And then the outgroup humor was almost less half than then the in-group humor, and then the other humor was 14.8% of the total humor. And if we see gender-wise distribution of the types of humor, uh, uh, male members of the group, they were more inclined towards in-group humor, meaning they were teasing one another more as compared to they were creating out-group boundaries. On the same way, females were also more involved into in-group humor, and they were teasing one another on the basis on solidarity basis, and they were more into the group. They were teasing or controlling one another, and they were less focused towards the out-group humor. And we could find out 8 instances of other humor which did not fall into these categories. Uh, so then we can see that in terms of different strategies which they were using in their conversations, and we can see that females were more inclined towards narrating and sharing their personal funny experiences, like they used anecdotes more, and they used more fantasies and observations as compared to men, where men were more inclined towards like wordplay and role play, joke telling, and a little bit more towards irony and teasing. So, in group humor, according to family status of initiator and target, here we can see that the results were quite out of expectations, as we I have already talked about. I talked about in the beginning that in general, Saraiki families are very much traditional, where father is given a very prestigious role, and generally is not targeted as far as humor is concerned. But here we can see that father is being targeted by mother, son, and daughter, and he's the most frequent target of humor. Whereas the son and the daughter, they are not being targeted. Like if you can see the table that son and daughter, they are not the target. They are not the target of humors. Rather, they are initiating humor, and they are targeting their father, and son is targeting his father, and son-in-law and daughter-in-law and niece, whereas daughter is targeting the father and daughter-in-law and nephew. So this is the pattern of how family humor is generated, initiated, and targeted in Saraiki family system. Then these are the functions of humor in Saraiki families. We can see that here we do find more humor. That means that most of the instances, though they were targeted to different members of the family, they were based on solidarity reasons. Like they were different funny stories which were being shared, or they were highlighting different similarities, or they were highlighting in group and out group boundaries, and they were teasing one another. But anyhow, we have multiple examples of power based humor, where the family members are trying to control and tease one another on the basis of power relations. And as far as psychological functions of humor were concerned, we could find just 2 examples. One from the son and the other from daughter, and both were related to the defending nature of the, like they intended to defend the other participants. So, as far as human support is concerned, we can see that there is all the major members of the family, like son and daughter, son-in-law and daughter-in-law and niece. They are contributing and they are supporting humor, whereas mother and father, they remain detached, and they are not supporting. There is no one single example of humor support from the father or the mother. Rather, he didn't. The father did not respond to the humor that was targeted to himself. And so we can see that the most of the humor sport comes from daughter and daughter-in-law and son-in-law, and the least. And there is no humor sport that comes from father and mother. So daughters, that means the women, that shows that women are more sportive for humor as compared to as compared to men. And laughter is the most frequently used humor sport strategy. And then there is adding more humor, and then overlap is the least frequent humor sport strategy. That suggests a little bit of formal setting, because in asymmetrical or hierarchical setups, we do have a bit of we are a bit more formal. So there may be that may be the reason that we don't do not find many of the overlaps here in the conversation. Then we can like, these were the results, and now we can discuss that how in-group humor and family dynamics are being presented in the conversation. Like group humor is more frequent, as we have already talked about it, as compared to out-group humor and other humor that shows that Saraiki men and women they tease one another on joking relationship rather than highlighting boundaries. And then jocular abuse is used more frequently, on which they build up solidarity and group ties. And then Saraiki men are seen to be more prone towards humor strategies like wordplay and irony, whereas women are more inclined to sharing their personal anecdotes, observation, and fantasy. As far as humor and power dynamics are concerned, in the light of superiority theory, we can see that the pattern of jocular abuse in the study. They reveal son and daughter as the most powerful individuals, as they initiated most of the jocular abuse but received none. On the other hand, father is the most frequent target of jocular abuse. Then, father, daughter in law, niece, and nephew are not seen much involved in jocular abuse, which indicates they're less involved and less powerful position in the family. So here we can see the examples where son and daughter, they are teasing their father. Like son says, "Abu apna vedehin." That means father is concerned with whom, with his own. Context is that the father is trying to support his own age fellow, one of the other family members who is of the same age, like maybe around 70. He is supporting the person who is trying to get married at this age. So father is supporting the person who is trying to get married. And since in Saraiki families, or in their cultural and traditional value system, it's quite unacceptable that fathers at this age should get remarried. So father is supporting the person, and the son teases his father that the father is actually is concerned with his own matter, that father himself wants to get remarried. That's the actual that's the reason that he is supporting the other person who wants to get married. And the example too is that in actual, father wants to talk about himself. I feel he's planning my brother. So this example is, again, we can see that the son is teasing his father. The father, in fact, he's talking about his own wishes or his own desires to get remarried. Whereas in example 3, this is daughter who is teasing father, because that is savings and savings, because father is not very much is not in like a spendthrift sort of person. He rather saves money, and he's not willing to buy new clothes and new accessories for himself. So daughter is teasing her father that you are going to save and save money. So then, humor and gender. Here we can see certain gender differences also, that both men and then similarities also. Both men and women, they are equally involved in the production of humor, they tease one another. Women are more sportive of humor as compared to men. Men's humor is more recognized and appreciated in terms of humor sport, and then women tease men and women both, whereas men target their humor mostly at men, regardless of age factor. For example, there is another example, like here, woman is teasing to another woman, like she's teasing her. sister-in-law, that previously your father's was famous, now your mother's would also be, that is something habitual of, that was something habitual of the father, but now it's going to be of the mother as well. Then women are teasing more for solidarity reasons, while men are more for controlling reasons. Like in the next example, we can see that you may talk but with low volume. Like the uncle is teasing his niece that you can talk but with low volume. That indicates that that is for solidarity as well as for controlling the behavior of the youngers. So here we can conclude uh, with this discussion that humor is simultaneously used as a controlling strategy to direct both young and old to abide by the societal and family norms and for building solidarity. And then humor is used to reinforce norms, as we can see that both son and daughter, they are trying to control the father's wishes and trying to convince him that they should abide by the family norms and values and make explicit the boundaries of acceptability. And most of the jocular abuse generally used for solidarity is directed at the father, who is considered as the core member of the family. That indicates that power distribution in Saraiki family is not equal. And then humor generated by children is used as a tool to implicitly challenge the family power dynamics and convey what cannot be explicitly conveyed. And then in the end, that the jocular abuse, the mother and the son and daughter indicate their subgroup, as they seem to have closer relationship and greater solidarity and want to challenge the power dynamics and unequal status. And then, in the light of superiority theory, if we analyze the whole conversations in the light of superiority theory, we can see that we can see a shift in power, like as the son and daughter are seen at higher status. If the superiority theory says that the people who are at higher status, they produce more humor. And are the less are seldom the target of humor. And it also reveals that a change in the societal norms where age and relational status used to be of utmost value previously. Thank you. That's all.
Amy Friedman, were you surprised by the conclusions you arrived at concerning the humorous exchanging reflecting changes in societal norms?
Yes, that was actually surprising for me because the general norms and traditions of Saraiki family are not the same as are being revealed in in these conversations. Previously, it used to be that father was the controlling figure, and there were the parents and the children, they were at distance, like they were not as much frank. Maybe the kids are trying to get closer or to get frank to their parents, but they are not responded. And maybe like they are challenging the power dynamics through their humor. But previously it was bit different, rather very much different, because it was hardly a scene where the children are trying to tease their father, something like.
All right. Another question from Karina Hess Zimmerman. What kind of family was it? More traditional rural or more modern urban?
No, it was not. It was not traditional and more modern. It's a middle class family who is
Mhm.
striving to be like who is the family who is not very much modernized, but not very much rooted. Maybe there is a generational gap also. Like the older people, they are more traditional, but the young ones, they are trying to be little bit modern. But we cannot say that they are exclusively modern or traditional.
Okay. One quick last question. Anyone? All right. Okay. So please join me in thanking